Hello, we are back. Before we continue our class to build a web app that like apps like Twitter, let us go back to styling because the text area doesn't look that great. The button, neither does the button. Let's get back to a little bit of style before we continue. So one way of getting started with styling things is using the dev tool in the browser. So we already learned how to use that a little bit. Now let's say I want to style, say, the button right here, right? Well, the button, I want to make it better. Well, we can right click the button, click inspect. It will open DevTools if it's not already open, and it's going to highlight it for you, and it gives you all the styles on the right hand side panel here, style tab. Now the button by default, the browser gives some default styles. You can see it's surrounded by a border, there's some little bit of padding, and there's this color like grayish, and it's all in the default style. We don't want default, so we can define our own styles. So you can start by using this element.style part. You can click here and start adding properties in real time and see what it looks like. Let's give it a try. So to the button, maybe we can, let's play around with the border. So the border right now, let's put one px solid black. Let's start out with this. I press tab. Okay. Do you like the thickness of the border? It's 1 pixel. I can increase. It's up to you. And it's kind of highlighted, that's why I changed the color, but let me take the mouse out of it so we can see it's color black. You can choose the border that you want. I'll leave it 2. You can choose the color as well. One very nice thing you can do through DevTools is you can see there's a color picker. If I click here, and it shows me all the colors I can pick. These properties. Now the first property is the red, green, blue that you can choose, and it gives you the hexadecimal value. Notice that I started with the word black, and you can use words for the colors, or you can use what's called the hex value. The hex value is a 6th alphanumeric code that corresponds to the color. The first 2 is for red, followed by the next 2 for green, followed next 2 for blue. So RGB. So you notice as I change the colors, the values change. For example, you had red, read red. You can see the red is FF with all the other 00 because that makes sense. R for red, G for green, blue, so B for blue. So there's no blue, there's no greens, there's only R, red. Anyway, this second thing here is the alpha. It's the transparency, right? Do you want it 100% transparent, or do you want opaque, right? You can choose that, and that adds a new set to the X at the end of hex. Another notation is the RGBA notation. In this case, it is using numbers from 0 to 255 for each. For example, red is 255, 0, 0, no green, no blue. And the alpha or transparency is 1 meaning opaque, 0 for transparent, and in between is a little bit seen through, right? You can choose. It's valid from 0 to 1. I'll leave it opaque. For the red, the higher the value, at the highest 255 is the reddest. If you put 0, it's going to go to color white. Oh, sorry. White is all colors. color black. And if you put 255 for every single thing, that's the maximum. That's the white, all colors. Anyway, I can just leave any color you want. Maybe this blue. How about that one? Nice, but I don't like the border, how it's like not rounded. So I can add border radius. Oops, border dash radius adds the rounding. Start 1 pixel and can increase. You can see the border becomes rounded as you increase. Of course there's a limit, but let's do 2 maybe, 2px. 4, 4 looks nice. It's 4 then. Nice. I don't like the background. Can we make it better? Maybe, how about this? Background color. Background dash color. Let's start with yellow. You can choose the color you want for the background. And it changes accordingly as you select here. What do you think? Anyone you want. Maybe lighter. Anyway, I'll leave it like that. Not very nice, but let's add some padding to the sides. So I want to use padding, but I want to split the padding individually for the vertical and for the horizontal. For vertically, I want to 1.px, horizontal 1px. So I split. I see compare. Let's see what happens when I increase the first value. It's the vertical, right? Top and bottom. Top and bottom. So top and bottom, I think maybe 4. But from the left and right, I want to increase more. Maybe 8. Or even better. 12. How about that? I can also make the text bold with font size, font dash size. We can use those the words, but I like using numbers, so I can use 400. Then you go to 500. Then you go to 600. Oops, I meant font weight, sorry. Not the font size. Font size will be the size like 12 pixels. Let me show you. This is the size. You can increase, so on. But I don't really, maybe I want to, let's say 14 font pixels. Now for the bold, sorry about, I meant font weight, okay? Font weight would be how bold you want it to be. I can start at 400, doesn't make a difference. 500, 600 is when it becomes really bold. You can see the difference. You can even change the color of the text with color. Well, that certainly doesn't look good, right? So I can click and change. Or maybe blue would be nice. There you go. Anyway, bluish. So we got all these styles, but remember, this is just in real time in memory. It will go away if you reload, so be careful. Don't lose the styles. Copy them. Copy. Control-C or Command. Go back to your style sheet, styles.css. Now, I need a class for the button. So for every element in the page, we need to apply different classes, right? You have a button, you create a class for the button. You have an entry, create a class for the entry. You have a text area, create a class for the text area. Like every individual different kind of widget or control element has its own class. So let's define a new class here outside. I'll call it, maybe you want to call it entry submit, but just like the ID. You can have the ID the same as the class name, but they're different concepts, different things. Anyway, Or even better, I don't even need you could target that element by ID. If you use the pound, it's going to target the element by ID like this, the class, but that's not very good because you could have multiple buttons on the page and maybe those buttons share the same style, but the ID is only one. You can only have one ID. ID is unique. So usually for things like widgets on the page, controls, you always use class, because class, you can have them apply to multiple things. You can have multiple of them appear in the page. So if the thing is really unique, of course, can always end up with ID, but I think it might be, we can maybe in the future have many different buttons that might have the same consistent style. So I'm gonna make it a class. I'm gonna copy and paste, fix my indentation here. If you want to organize by alphabetically, that's fine. Up to you. Oops. Okay, so we need to apply this class to the entry button. So go to index.html. To the button, you're going to add a new attribute. You can put it out before or after the ID. It doesn't really matter. I'll put after. Class entry submit button. Notice the class name is the same as the ID, but they're different things, okay? Different things. Same class name here and here, no dot here. Let's reload. Now it's persistent. There's now this class here. Okay. One other thing is, like, usually when you hover over the button, it changes the cursor. So maybe you want to put here cursor pointer, and it changes. You see when I hover over the button, it changes to this pointy finger. Of course, there are other ones like the crosshairs. This one is like you're crosshairing the button. Depends on what you like. But the standard is usually the cursor pointer. So I can add that in his finger. So let's add that to our style. Okay. Now the CSS right here. And reload, and it'll be added there. No problem. Okay, so that's the style for the button, and we learn how to do in real time here. And don't forget to copy and paste. I think we're going to take a break for now, and I'll see you in the next video.